Hello guys, it's Ivan here checking in. As always, hope you guys are well. In today's video, I'm elaborating more on a concept that I mentioned in a video earlier on, which is basically the power of not caring. First and foremost, I think it's worth mentioning that the title that I just mentioned is a bit misleading, considering the fact that everyone cares. We're all human, which means we're emotional creatures and we're bound to care. Obviously, with the exception being the psychopaths who are unable to empathize with normal people. Now, with that being said, what do I mean by everyone cares? Because I know most of you guys might be thinking, how about the rock stars who, make it seem like they have nerves of steel, so to speak. They perform at these massive shows where there's tons of fans, Wembley's, at massive stadiums or whatever, or public speakers who do these speeches again in front of masses of people. But yeah, what I wanted to say is the difference between the rock stars or the public speakers and those who are at the top of the spectrum, who make it seem as though they have nerves of steel, and the people who are at the bottom end of the spectrum, the shy introverts or the super shy extroverts, who feel like they're being judged and who get like the serious who have serious anxiety or who suffer panic attacks due to anxiety, is that these people on the top end of the spectrum, they know that it's perfectly normal, and when they feel anxious, they address the feeling of being anxious, so to speak. They acknowledge that it's there and feel through it, so they breathe through it. They're like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling anxious, I'm about to go address this crowd. For example, if it's a public speaker, they're like, yeah, I'm about to go address this massive crowd. Yes, and the anxiety is here and the anxiety is creeping in, and that's okay. They acknowledge it, it's there, breathe through it, drink water, and go out there and kill it. It's that simple. Now, I know that the reaction to this anxiety is subconscious when you're born, but these guys at the top end of the spectrum, again, they have got, most of them have got this massive experience that has helped them turn this subconscious answer. That's usually because I think most of the time when we're born, the subconscious answer to anxiety is obviously panicking or feeling like retracting instead of opening our arms, closing ourselves off. That's the automatic subconscious answer that we're supposed to do, a survival instinct, if you may. But these people have subconscious, due to the experience they've had and the years of practice they've been for what they've been, wherever it is they do, they've changed that answer to making it seem as though it's not a big deal. So basically, the difference I'm trying to point out here is the difference between the two ends of the spectrum, or they're not separate entities per se, but like, yeah, you guys get it. The difference between the two is the meaning that they assign to the anxiety. The guys on the top end of the spectrum, they're like, okay, the anxiety is perfectly normal, which means it's not a big deal to them. They breathe through it. They know it. They know it. Usually, it always comes, and they acknowledge and breathe through it. The guys on the low end of the spectrum, oh my goodness, it's like they don't even. It's like it's a foreign thing to them. They feel like it only occurs to them. What they don't realize, it occurs to everyone. For example, if most people who are like super shy and super introverted, who feel like they're being judged, they are so stuck in their head about, and so stuck up on their insecurities, that when they're walking, say for example, if they're walking down the street and they see people maybe looking at them, looking in their direction, they feel like they're being judged. But what they don't realize is that the other people who they think are judging them, they may also be feeling the same thing. They're also feeling they're being judged, or they're feeling the same anxiety as them. They also have just as many insecurities as them. I don't know if that made sense, but yeah, if it did, well and good. So the whole point I'm trying to try to make there is, everyone's human and everyone feels that anxiety, but it's the meaning you assign to it. And that's the whole point I'm trying to make in this video. And the next best thing I can urge you to do is learn how to make it normal, so to speak. Change the answer, change your subconscious answer instead of retracting, tell your subconscious that it's okay. Every time you feel anxious, tell yourself it's okay, breathe. It's a perfectly normal feeling, and you'll just walk straight through it. It's really that simple. For people who have panic attacks, on the other hand, now it may take, I believe personally, because when you believe you can do just about anything, I believe that even you guys can turn it around by doing something that simple. But if you feel like you can't, you can always seek for, medical assistance or something if you feel like you need it. But if you feel enthusiastic and you also know that you can just about achieve anything, it will take a bit of time, but that time will be worth it when you get there. And we hope this video helped you guys in one way or another, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.